Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Mandy, and welcome to my channel about cross stitch. Today is Saturday, February 19th, and this is Flosstube number 65, I do believe. If you are new to my channel, thank you so much for checking me out. I have noticed in the last few days that I had a little bit of an uptick in my subscriber count. So if, maybe if there was somebody who shouted me out or something that you found out about my channel, let me know. I'd like to be able to, give a proper thank you for that. So if you just came across me, well, welcome. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for your constant support and, all the good things. So, we got some fun stuff to share today, I think. I have a long-awaited Stitchy journal update. It has been so long since I've worked on that. And so yeah, I actually have some FFO to show. Fully finished object. I do also have a new finish, no new starts, couple whips, all kinds of fun stuff. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and show. So last weekend, yeah, I believe it was, maybe it was 2 weekends ago now that I think about it. Michelle Garrett, Bendy Stitchy, was, oh, by the way, I got a haircut this week. I'm loving it. I've got one little lock that keeps hanging down in my eye though. It is so well needed. It had been nearly a year since I got my haircut last, and because I've been keeping it so short, the way it had grown out, I wasn't liking it. So it is very short, shaved in the back, all that good stuff. So I love it. Girlfriend cut it for me, and very much appreciate it. So yeah, a couple weeks ago, Michelle was hosting on her Twitch streaming. It was a Sunday morning. She was working on her Stitchy journal and adding some finishes to that, and I'm like, you know what, let's just do it. Great motivation to get me to get some pages done, and I got, I think, a total of like 4 pages done, like, so I love it. So she's got a really nice like handmade journal that, like with the really cool pages and all that good stuff. I wanted something bigger because a lot of my pieces tend to be on the bigger side, and I felt that that was going to be a little small for my stitching. And so I went with I couldn't find exactly what I wanted. So I was wandering through Michael's one day, and I came across artist sketch pads, and they had one that was in black paper, and I instantly loved the idea. So that's what I went with. I've shown it before. I want to say it was like video 25 that I originally showed what I did, but we're gonna go ahead and show everything again. So here's what we have. I mean, it's not professionally done, it's just me. It's just kind of making myself a little like coffee table book, if you will. Just something to be able to have some of my finished stitches in. So I stitched this piece back in like 2013. I forget the name of it now. I think it was just I heart to stitch and sew. As you can see, I heart to stitch and sew every day. Pretty sure I used call for colors. I also believe that it was on a piece of 14 count Ada. I remember it being just a scrap piece of Ada that I had on hand. It had very little margin, so it's not like I really was going to be able to find a good frame for it. So when I was putting the journal together, I found, came across it and figured, this is going to be a great cover piece, because obviously it's my stitching. I know I don't exactly sew, but it's, it's still my stitching. So it's needlework or needle art, right? I don't remember the artist that designed it. I do remember it being an Imaginating leaflet though, that I got from like Stitches and Things. Gosh, like I said, 2012 or I know I stitched it in 2013. So, but it's really cool. It got all kinds of little, those thread bobbins are really cool. Spools, I guess is what I was referring to, these, and then a couple more spools down here. Look, the use of the different colors makes it look like it's variegated thread. I thought that was really cool. Got some floss skeins of floss. So yeah. And I just got a piece of scrapbook paper that I glued down. It's actually looking a little sun faded, but it's all right. It's my journal. So we'll show the new pages that I did. So I'm pretty sure if you saw my last update on this, you might have, well, gosh, I stitched this at the very end of 2020, so I probably would have shown it in a video after that. But Scattered Joy, this was from a Cooler Designs booklet that I have of all kinds of little smalls, and I love it. And somewhere on here it was supposed to also have stitched Emerson, because it's from a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. So my note here, there is no beautifier of complexion or form or behavior like the wish to scatter joy and not pain around us. So I stitched that in one day at the end of December of 2020. And so then I added this piece to it. This was a finish that I had at I think it was sometime in November. I stitched it in one day in November. Queen of Procrastination. This is stitched with a color and cotton in Dahlia, stitched on a piece of Picture This Plus in Tycho. I love the variegation that shows up in it. That is a beautiful floss. The light just is not doing it justice. And I've got a sticker book that I meant to bring over that I just added some really pretty stickers throughout. I don't even remember the name of it. I got it on Amazon. I know it's a sticker book a version of the sticker book that Michelle has. I think I've got a different version from hers, but it's one of those antique, I think is the name in the name of it. It has like 1,000 stickers in it, but I thought that was really pretty. And then I've used a piece of scrap paper, like stitches. Crazy girl, there she is. Say hi. I had bought a pack of, excuse me, ephemera from Etsy. I don't remember the name of the shop at the moment, but it was just a pack. It was like $5 and there were 75 pieces in it or something, and it was just all kinds of different pieces of paper. So it was like chunks of scrapbook paper. There was even like old style receipt paper in there, little doilies, like just all kinds of really cool little ephemera that I thought it would be a good little touch to be able to write out the design information. This was a freebie that I had saved the PDF years ago, and the excuse me, the printout that I have had, or I guess the file that I had a website on there, but I went to the website and it was no longer there. So I wish I could find it, but it fits me perfectly. I tend to put so much stuff off all the time. So yeah, that was one of the pages. And then another page that I did is my pumpkin grids. These were designs out of a Just Cross Stitch Halloween magazine, you know, the Halloween edition 2016. And again, this was just a piece of paper from that ephemera. It was actually Stitches is so funny. It was actually like a page from a children's book. I don't even know what story it was or anything, but I just thought the artwork was pretty cool looking. And with the orange, I thought that it would work out really well with the pumpkins. And then another one of those stickers from that sticker book. This one I know is stitched with a color and cotton, I want to say like carrot maybe, something like that. I think that one I just used DMC colors, but yeah, so that one was a fun page to put together. And then this has probably got to be my favorite page of all. We got Quirky Quakers. I just adore these Quirky Quakers from Darling and Whimsy Designs. So because I stitched the fox, I printed out the pattern. I think I just had it on a PDF. So I printed it out, and it was just her layout. It was part of the picture, like her model picture. So I kind of cut that, that looks a little dark there on the camera, but so that way I could be able to get her logo in, and it was her fox from that. This is Fishbone. That was I believe this one's a freebie. Check out Darling and Whimsy Designs on Instagram in her like link tree. It's probably somewhere in there. And then Ladybug, and then this was another piece of that ephemera paper that I had that I just thought it was cute. It's kind of silvery, shiny. And then there was a another piece of cardstock. Looks like it's got some kind of colors on the back of it, but I just used the white side of it to be able to put the details. Ladybug, I used Forbidden Fiber Company's poinsettia floss. The Fishbone, I used Leo and Roxy. That is in Very Cranberry. I bought there was a, I think I got a bag. Yeah, in fact, I think it was the cat bag I've got somewhere here in my basket. That I got like 5 Leo and Roxy's, and it included Darling and Whimsy's. Michelle Garrett has a party cat. I have yet to stitch that one. And then Park Hopper Bart had a cat as well, so I gotta stitch that one up yet too. But that one was Leo and Roxy in Very Cranberry. And then the fox is a coloring cotton lava lamp. And they're all stitched on the same piece of Picture This Plus in Tycho. You would, if you've been here before, you would have seen me hold up the whole paper that I had the pumpkins, Queen of Procrastination. I did them all on one piece. So yeah, that's that page. And we've got a haunted house. Wow, words. This one was published in a 2013 issue, September 2013, of Cross Stitch and Needlework magazine. The title of it was Spooktacular Treat Bag, so it had it shown and gave instructions on how to do a trick-or-treat bag. But I don't have littles, so we put it in here, and I figured out that it was a perfect fit for here. I probably could have cut it out a little differently versus just a rectangle, but I like the page. And we've got a creepy skull, and this like vase or whatever that it's in. There is death in the pot, 2 kings, and then some letters. So I don't know, it's kind of creepy though. I don't know if it's gonna focus, but. And then again, just a piece of that scrap paper from that. So that was fun. Good to get that one put in somewhere, just because I just finished it last year, but I had started that ages ago. And then the last page that I have is Lindy Stitch's Vulture Villa. I received the pattern as Happy Meal. Michelle shared it with me, so I included her note. That's why it's covered up. I wasn't going to share her note. I think it was a note from something else, but it worked out perfectly. And so I just used her note to also journal the design details. And look at this sticker. That sticker works out absolutely perfectly with that design. Again, it was from this sticker book. I don't have it handy, and the way I've got tables, I couldn't stand up easily and grab it, so I'm not even 100% sure where it's at. Oh, I do see it over there. But yeah, it absolutely worked out perfectly. Oh, okay. Knocking things off. So just to backtrack a little bit, here was the first page out of the book. I would have shown it again when I stitched it to begin with. It was before I really had too much of the ephemera and the stickers and such. So this was a freebie, another haunted house. I don't even remember now. It's labeled Spooky Castle by Wonky Witch Needlecraft. I remember it being a freebie, so you may be able to Google it. And then I've got a sticker on here. It's been great, but I have to scrape now. So I thought that was quite perfect for that haunted house. 14 count scrap beta. The only thing about those stickers is they kind of curl up a little bit, it seems. So, I don't even know the names of these ones. I remember these being some freebies that I found online ages ago. I was going to turn them into ornaments. Never did. I just tacked them in here. Added another pretty sticker. It's kind of not wanting to stick very well. True happiness be thine. That's what the sticker says. So I don't even know what DMC colors I used. I do know that they're DMC. Like that one's just in all white with red. We got some pretty blue and orange and red and green. I do remember I stitched these for a swap years ago and I added beads to it. So they were fun. And then my dragonfly page. So my girlfriend Crystal gifted me with a dragonfly in pattern that is stitched with a DMC variegated, I don't even remember. I didn't even know what DMC it is. 14 count scrap beta. And then I'm really not going to talk about those. They were from a Facebook group that I don't support. I had started a piece and decided I did not agree with some of their stuff, and so I backed out of it. But good news for fans of Gilmore Girls, Jukebox Stitchery. I believe I've heard somebody say that it is the person who started Stitch Life magazine is also starting this other company that, so I've been following them on Instagram, and they've been teasing the Rory Gilmore 1984 sampler. And I cannot wait for it. I'm not a sampler stitcher, but if it's going to be a Gilmore Girls theme, you best believe that I will be stitching that. It is so cool. There was a sneak peek of a gazebo and I think like the Luke's coffee mug, so I can't wait for that one to come out. Okay, the finish that I have, I'm so excited about this one. I got to a point, I stitched this, like I started it February 2nd, put it aside for a few days, and then one day last week I picked it up, and I think I stitched on it 3 days in a row until it was finished. And I love how it turned out. Yeah, my light. I didn't turn on my ring light because I've got my sliding door open and it's so bright that I figured I didn't need it. But so this is Owl Forest Embroidery. One of their freebies called Starling. So they've got a page with all kinds of freebies, and this was on there. So Starlings. I think I might have just said it singular a minute ago. But it's charted, of course, in their flosses, which I don't have, and I wasn't going to order from Russia. So I went through my hand-dyed threads. I believe I showed all of the different colors on my last video 2 weeks ago. I don't have the bag handy that I had them in. I don't know what happened to it. But yeah, so I don't remember the names of the colors. So if you're interested in the conversion, let me know. I'm more than happy to share. So I think it turned out really well. Some of this looked a little more green in the original picture. There was more like darker version in the yellow, but honestly, I think it turned out so cute. And I stitched this for hashtag Februaviary, hosted by Miss Laid Pages, where in the month of February, stitch all the birds. And I have been on such a bird kick lately that this was just absolutely perfect for me to stitch. I just realized I had something else handy I wanted to show. Let me get to it. Alrighty. Next whip that I worked on, this was my new year, new start. It is Twisted Rainbow Sampler from Northern Expression Needleworks. They have a specialty stitch version of this out as well as a standard cross stitch edition. And I am doing the standard cross stitch. And I just realized my floss is hanging on the front. So let's get that to the back. I am using, whoa, that's a little see-through. I don't know how to hold this up. I am using this scroll frame. I don't even remember what company name this is. I was wanting to get roll of frames, wasn't quite what I wanted, but I'm making it work. This is stitched on a piece of 16 count Witchelt in Midnight Gray. I think it's charted in black, but I didn't want quite such a black, and it is, as much as this light is completely blowing it out, I think it's looking really good on the gray. I am using the called for DMC. It is charted in Dinky Dyes with a conversion to DMC. I was not about to spend $85 on silks for the Dinky Dyes, so I went with DMC, and I'm loving how it's turning out. Like when we go right in this band here, it's split between a green and a yellow. And from back, you would think that it almost looks like a variegated floss, but it's DMC. And it's looking so good. I am following the bands through the pages, so I know I've gotten into page 2, and I want to say some of this is into page 4. It's 8 pages, so it's like 2 wide and then 4 high. So I used my iPad to scan it in to get a digital copy, so I've just been using that. But yeah, that is my Northern Expression needlework. And I jumped into the hashtag Carla Being Crafty. Has a hashtag Twisted Sal, S-A-L. So hashtag Twisted S-A-L to share our updates there. So the next piece I worked on last night, just a little bit. I'm not even caught up with it, but it's fine. It will be eventually. It is the temperature bookcase from Christie's Needlework. Yeah, Christie's Needlework Corner, I think it is, on Etsy. And so each book, well, to back up, each shelf is a month in the year, so January, February, March, whatever. And then each book represents a day of the month. And then there's all kinds of little doodads that you can add. I figured out that in place of the rainbow, she has released a chart pack of extras, so other goodies that you could use in place. And there's actually 2 different black cats that is going to work perfectly in place of that rainbow. I adopted Stitches in March, almost 4 years ago. Next month will be 4 years that I adopted her. I love her pieces. And so I figured that would be a perfect place to put that with, you know, celebrating the month that she came into my life. So here's where we're at. I do have the January shelf done, except for one little doodad. I cannot make up my mind what I want to put there. There's charted to have a clock, and I'm just not sure if I want to put that or put something personal. I don't know. That little doodad, it's probably not going to show up very well, but I used DMC Diamant and in red, and then I pulled the snowflake, or a snowflake, from Michelle Bindy's Yule Ball to put in there. We're just, obviously it's in the month of January that we've been getting a bunch of snow, so I figured a snowflake would be perfect there. It's charted so that like every color covers like 4 degrees, but it stops at below 40 degrees. Her chart, you know, her Christie's charting. And because I think she's charted for Mississippi, I think it said. Well, in Michigan, you know, we've been getting in, there's been a couple of days where we've been into the single digits. And so if I went with 40 degrees, this entire bookshelf would be the same color. Because there has not been a day that hit over 40. I think one of these days was 35. Maybe it was over here. And so it's like the entire bookshelf would be just one solid color. And I didn't want that. So her design is kind of in a gradient of colors, and so the coldest ended with a red or a pink. I think probably a red, and so I went in more to the pinks just to kind of keep that rainbow going. So that's why I've got a pink bookshelf. Oh, that looks really good right there. Some of the colors I do have backstitched around just because, and I haven't done that over here, where back-to-back days were in that same 4-degree increment. So just to kind of separate it out a little bit, backstitch around it. I still have one over here to do. But this one is going to have quite a length of books before we get into a doodad. Well, I think there's a heart charted, and then somewhere is a rose laying on a couple of books. And I think I may leave the rose in. I don't know yet. This is stitched on a piece of 16 count Picture This Plus in Regency. So kind of a brown. There's some modeling in it that's just not showing up. I shouldn't even say brown. Cream. I don't know my colors apparently. Stitches. My coffee table is right here, and she's literally sitting. I don't know if I can get her ears to show up. She's literally right in front of the camera. So the next piece that I worked on, this was actually one of my February whip goes. I have not been doing very well with whip go. I put a board together. I put goals. My very first one, box number 2, was for a finish. Got that one done. And then I just decided to put, I think this one I put in for a week. And I work on what calls to me. So I'm thinking I just kind of want to, rather than having set goals for anything, just kind of make it my focus for a while. So I worked on this 2 nights this week. Maybe it was 3. But it's We 3 by Lindy Stitches. Lindy Stitches. I'm not stitching it on the called for, but I have a piece of 14 count, like the Charles Craft that came in a tube that is neon. I mean, you can tell just how neon that is. So I got this cat all done. When I first started, the body was way up here. So I got all of that done and then started in the border on the bottom. So I've got one more cat to go in the words and the frame border at the top. So easy piece to work on with it being just all in black. There is going to be some either ecru or white to put in the whiskers. But otherwise it's just stitched all in black. So I'm not used to stitching on 14 count anymore, and it's amazing how much it eats floss when you're used to working on 16 or 18 count. For the most part, my sweet spot is 16 count, but I have been enjoying 18 count, and this was just what I had in stash and it fit perfectly, and I figured, why not? I'll just suffer through the 14 count. I just, like I said, 14 is just not my jam anymore. I still love my Ada. I really don't have much plans to go away from the Ada. But alrighty. So the next piece that I worked on has been quite a focus piece. I love this piece so much. It is Mini Midnight Messenger by, the artwork is by Ann Stokes, charted by Heaven and Earth. And I am plugging away on page 2, and it's just looking amazing. I am using it for Full Coverage Fanatics. They are doing a challenge of 22 in 22. Goal, the challenge is to stitch 22,000 stitches in 2022 on one piece. By no means is this piece the closest to a finish. I actually have another Haid that it's at 54%, but it just hasn't been calling to me. This one sure has though. Like I said, I am plugging away on page 2, and it's amazing that when you're stitching it right in front of you, you don't quite catch the details of things, but when I hold it up, the dimensions, like the depth of, you know, looking into the woods shows up so amazing, and I love it. So yeah, I finished. I'm also using this in Full Coverage Fanatics. They've got a Whips and Wonders, I think it's Whips and Wonders challenge. They've got 20 wonders of the world listed, that for each one you stitch 5,000 stitches. And so I've been using this one for Aurora Borealis, and just last night I got 5,000 stitches completed. So when I first started that challenge, and the whole 20 and 20, 22 and 22, I was still working on page 1. That's below the Q snap. Although the owl was on page 1 too. So yeah, I've just been working over in here. So yeah, I love this piece. Love it so much. I am currently at, like, I just looked to 15%, I think, completed on that. I love it. Can't get enough of it. And since I got Pattern Keeper, it has certainly renewed my love of full coverage. I think I just needed a break from the full coverage after working on my eagles so much. That became such a focus piece in 2020 to get it done. And then I got to needing a break, but now I'm back into the full coverage and I'm loving it. In fact, just last night I placed an order with 123 to get a piece of material that would be big enough for 2 weeks ago I showed the dragon stitches. It's a Pain-Free Crafts pattern that was a dragon. I'm sorry, dragonfly. That I foresee me starting that pretty quickly. Just a couple little pieces of haul. I actually almost forgot to even show this to begin with. This got delivered when I did my last video that same day, and with it being so new, I just did not want to be the first one to spoil it. So by now, I would think that everybody who is in the club has gotten it. It is Lindy Stitch's Bird Crush Club. I did end up joining it. I'm only planning on being in it in a few weeks. I'm sorry, a few months. I'm not planning on necessarily being in it the entire year, but I had to jump into it. So this one is a black-bellied whistling duck. And they look so cool. I love it. And so here's the cover. This is the artwork that, so she has teamed up with a photographer of birds, and then she's charting them. And so there's the artwork that it is inspired by. And then so there's her design. And with the package, you get a Threadworks. This there's not a name to it, but there's a number. So definitely for the bellies of the birds. And then there were included a couple of really cool little, actually a few. We got some stickers. So these are going to be great for my journal, I'm sure. And then a note from her talking about her design process and everything. And then there's another picture of our photographer Chris Gilbert. And then there's dropped on the floor note from Chris too. So yeah, that's gonna be a fun one to stitch up. And then this is some belated Christmas gift, if you will, I guess. My mom and my sister both got me an Emma Congdon book. I think it was the Earth one. I don't remember what it's called. I know I showed it at Christmas time, after Christmas. So they both ended up buying it for me, not realizing, you know, the other one was getting it. And so Mom decided that, you know, she'd replace it for me. I think she decided to keep it for herself instead of actually returning it, but I don't know. Anyway, she told me to pick out something else. So I decided to go with a couple things from my wish list. And so, I love those. Cottage Garden samplings. Songbird Garden Series number 5. Bluebird of Happiness. Eastern Bluebirds and Cherry Blossoms. So that one's going to be a fun one to stitch. And then she told me to pick out the material to go with it. So it's just a piece of Witchelt in Touch of Pink. Yeah, it's just a really soft pink. And then, so I think this was supposed to be part of my Christmas gift, and it just got misplaced, and she'd kind of forgotten that she actually picked it up for me. Number 7 in the same series. So have faith. So now I have like 5 of the 12. Maybe I even have more than that. I really don't remember. I've got a list in my phone. Now it needs to be updated of the ones that I have so that I don't, you know, if I'm in a shop or something, I don't inadvertently get, or if I'm just ordering stuff online, I've got it handy rather than having to get up off the couch, because, you know, what a hardship is that to, you know, go look through my stash to find out which ones I have. So my next series that I really want to start collecting is the their new series this year, the A Year in the Woods. I haven't quite signed up for the auto ship from Abby Topknot. I don't know that I should be spending that kind of money right now on an automatic ship item, but just this week they released the raccoons. Oh my gosh, are they adorable? Well, not multiple, it's just one. I don't remember if I saved. Where's my pictures? I was looking to see if I had a screenshot of the, but I don't. I thought I had it. I got it right here though. This is the, oh. I guess we'll have to show it this way. Sorry it's on the iPad, but just look at that raccoon and that tail. Oh my goodness. Just this entire series is looking so good. I've really got to stitch the rabbit. Look at those ears. They just look so good. So, oh, this is a little bit of a longer video than I thought that I would have, because I didn't think I had a whole lot to share. At least you got sighting of Stitches. Stitches! That little girl, she has been such a cuddle bug. I sit with a blanket over my lap while stitching, and she just curls right up beside me. It's just, she's so fun to have around, just with the way she likes to run around, and, you know, just, she's been a great companion to have. So, personally, things are going good for me. I am feeling so good right now. It's amazing what that first surgery that I had May of last year took out of me, and how the one that I had in January just really helped. So thank you so much for the well wishes and everything from past couple of videos. I did sit down this morning and I got through all of the comments, including my whip parade that was like a month ago. So I'm so sorry for the delay in replying to comments, but I did get to everybody. So much appreciated the well wishes from everybody. So I'm really feeling more like myself again, and it's been a long time since I could say that I felt that way. So I'm just working away. Like I've mentioned before, we're working from home. There's really no possibility of us going back to the office now, especially because the new coworkers I've been training live across the country. Yesterday I trained somebody that lives in Texas. A couple weeks ago was somebody in Georgia, and I know I've met somebody in Indiana. So, of course, these folks are not going to be able to come into an office in Michigan. So, very thankful that we have been able to continue working from home. On top of, the global health crisis, I've said for years that the work that I do most certainly could be work from home. And the office politics, there's people that make me feel like I'm in middle school or, worse, that just with the office drama. So I'm not heartbroken whatsoever to not go back to the office. There's a couple of people that I'd like to be able to see again, but that's what social events could be for, meeting up at a restaurant or something safely, whatever. I don't know, but it just really have no interest in going back to an office, so thankful for that. But now that I've been rambling longer than I expected, I don't have anything else to share. I hope everyone is doing well and getting lots of stitching in. And yeah, so we'll see you again in a couple weeks. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. My remote apparently did not stop.